Welcome back to the video. Make sure to like, sub, and comment. Yesterday, we got the tragic news that Company, the amazing revival, which won the most Tony Awards, including Best Revival, is closing this July 31st, I believe. So Company was doing well in terms of box office, but I think there were a couple of key things that is determining why it's closing in July, which is super early compared to like the fall or the end of the year. This show opened in the midst of Omicron, so this show, unlike something like Hadestown, which had accumulated a lot of good money over the past 4 months before December, was taking the hit of Omicron a lot harder than something like Hadestown. And all shows were hit hard in January, and then saw a huge increase in February, but shows that were open for less amount of time, like Evan Hansen or Company, did not have the saved up money, so they bled a lot of money in January and February, and the grosses for Company went down significantly in January and February. And then they kind of rose back up again in the spring, but then we saw a decline, and even with the Tony Awards this past month, it has not done incredibly well. It's actually, compared to most on-time revivals, it's done very well, but I think for what they need to do in terms of making their weekly gross, it's not done so hot. It's hit a high of 800,000 and a low of 600,000. And realistically, this show needs to be making between a minimum of $1 million, although most shows like to make 2 or 3, but obviously if Company made $1 million, they'd be fine, and a low of 800,000. But not like a low 800,000, like mid 800,000s to high 800,000s, and this show is doing 700, 600, and recently did 500, and those kind of numbers are not sustainable numbers. And Chris Harper told the New York Times that he said that, they were doing decent, but they were not selling out. It's no secret to you or anyone else. It's tough out there. And summer was going to be hard, and September even harder. I wanted to celebrate and go out on a high, which is kind of what I thought would be his response, because I think he saw that the advanced sales for the show were not so good going into the next few months, and he thought we're going to end up losing money and closing on a big L. Instead, we can make a lot of money and close with a good financial standing and make up the rest on tour, which is a very smart producer move. It's not something that a lot of producers do, but I do respect Chris Harper for seeing the writing on the wall before we do. I think that the Sondheim fan base is great and large, but very niche, and I think the diehard fans saw the show already, and now it's just people that are kind of there to see it. And I think that the younger audience that wants to see it cannot afford the extremely high ticket price that they're selling the show at. So A Strange Loop did exceptionally well, playing to its best week ever with 99% capacity, almost reaching $900,000. Its highest average ticket price, its highest top ticket. Beetlejuice somehow manages to keep on going from 77 to 79, and having $1 million in the bank again. I think that Beetlejuice will be fine. I think we have survived it potentially closing this year at least, but it's such an unexpected show, and it goes up and down, and then you don't know where it will stay. So for right now, it's safe. I think you can, if you want to see it from now until like Christmas, I think it will still be here at the end of the year. I think it can be here next year, but we'll see. I think this is a good show for stunt casting, and they can definitely get some good people for stunt casting. Come From Away went from 76% to 77%. Company did 77% this week and had $700,000 in the bank. Dear Evan Hansen went from 78% to 84% and had a gross of $600,000, which again is not great, but it is closing. Funny Girl, which I think will be the next show to close, and I wonder if they will close it in September or if they will close it after the second round of stunt casting, because it's actually lost money since like May. I think it's not made money only 1 week in the past almost 2 months. And still making $1 million, still 85% capacity, still a pretty decent average ticket and top ticket, but I think Funny Girl is kind of seeing it on its last legs, and I would not be surprised if this closes next. Hadestown is hitting high 800s with a capacity of 99%. Hamilton continues its streak of not selling out by doing 98%, but because the ticket price is so high, it's still making $2 million. Cursed Child is another show that I think might close because the average ticket is very low. It is still making $1 million. It's still doing 94% capacity this week, but I just feel like they're not making the money they could, and maybe that's why they made it into one part, so they wouldn't have to close. MJ the Musical had its best week of $1 million. average ticket and top ticket with the highest and 99% capacity. Mr. Saturday Night, which I think will close at some point, only did 75% and made 732,000. Moulin Rouge did 98% capacity, which was up from last week. Paradise Square is seeing a bit of an uptick from 60% to 64%, and the average ticket went up significantly from last week, and it played its highest week, I think, ever, potentially. The average ticket went from $55 to $76. Six brought in $1 million, 99% capacity, like last week. The Music Man, without Hugh Jackman, did 70% capacity and still brought in $1 million, but that's because the average ticket was over $200, and that's because Hugh was out. And I wonder if they'll close this with Hugh and Sutton, or if they'll get another star replacement. But again, I think this doesn't run longer than Hello Dolly. Tina did 60% compared to last week's 66%. And that obviously is closing. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. I will see you in the next video. Peace.